Hey guys, what is up? It is Zaiah, and in this video I'll be talking about Titanfall 2. So, I think this is a super fun game, and I've enjoyed every moment of playing this. However, it is dying. Whenever I got on today, only 9,500 people were playing Titanfall 2 on PlayStation. And that's a really low number for an online game. That's super low, and it takes forever to find a game. And I was wondering why the numbers were so low for Titanfall 2, because like I said, it's an amazing game, and really if you look up any Titanfall 2 review, you'll see good things about it. I think one reason why is because after people got Titanfall 1, they didn't really give Titanfall 2 a chance because Titanfall 1 was really bad. I mean, everybody knows it. It just wasn't a very well-made game. But so I looked it up, and only 4 million copies of Titanfall 2 were sold, and that's for Xbox, PC, and PS4. And that's a pretty low number whenever you think about, like, Battlefield 1 sold 15 million copies. And one reason why Titanfall 2 didn't sell as many copies, at least during its release date, was because it was released when the big name games like Call of Duty and Battlefield were released, and people are, I guess, directed their attention more onto those games instead of to Titanfall 2. And because, like, Battlefield 1 sold 15 million. It's 11 more million copies than Titanfall 2 did. So if you think about, like, if they released it maybe in the summer, just later on, or maybe just earlier before Battlefield 1 was released, maybe it would have sold more copies and more people would have been online. But you can't really tell because it didn't. It was released when Battlefield and Call of Duty were released, and I just think that was a big mistake, and that they should have waited. And one main thing that Titanfall does that a lot of video games don't do, and I think I touched on this in my other Titanfall 2 video, and if you haven't seen that, you should check it out. But they release free DLC every 2 months or so that releases either a new Titan, a new map, which it seems like it's always been a new map that's been released, which is good, and a new weapon. So like in the previous update, which they usually happen at the end of the month, like every 2 months or so, on February 28th, it released the R101, which is like the same exact thing as the R201, except add an ACOG site, and it released a new map, which I can't really remember the name of it. And then in this one, they released a new Titan, Monarch, and a new map, which I'm playing right now, which is called Relic. And Monarch is a completely new Titan, different than all the others, and I only used it a few times, and I can't really say much about it because I honestly don't really know much about it. But it's a little weird and different. You get like more abilities as you get your kills, so usually you get like one main ability when your like XP bar or percent bar, like on the bottom left. You have your percent, and whenever it reaches 100, then you get your special ability, which is like for Ion, it's your laser core, but it's like an ability that does a whole bunch of damage. And for this one, it has like a bunch of different abilities, so you can change it up, which I really like about it. But I didn't do too well with it, and I only used it a few times. And the gun, it's good, but it's weird because you can't scope in, so you just have to constantly hip fire with it. So it's kind of like Legion's gun with that ginormous minigun, but I don't think it does as much damage as Legion's gun. And it shoots like these energy bullets, and it didn't do that much damage. But anyways, you should check it out. It's different, and I think once I played it with the Titan more, then I would get better with it, and I would enjoy playing with the Titan more. Now to talk about Ion, it did get nerfed in this patch, Its laser core and laser shot both got nerfed, and I could tell whenever I used it. The laser core, just like that giant death ray laser thing that shoots when your percent bar reaches 100 while you're using your Titan. Uh, it usually just tore up enemies. I mean, it would kill them so quickly. And honestly, if you got in front of that thing, you would be dead, or you would be in so much critical condition. But it did get nerfed a little bit. But I mean, it's still effective. Like, it still serves its purpose of wrecking any Titan that is nearby. But it just doesn't do it as efficiently as it used to. And then the laser shot, it's like the little thing on your shoulder, shoots a tiny little laser beam that does like a fraction of what the laser core does. It also got nerfed, but it's still good. I still think the Ion Titan is one of the best Titans that you can get or use, and it's the starting one, so everybody's gonna have it. And the Volt, which is the submachine gun, and it was carried over from Titanfall 1. It did get buffed, and I know in the previous patch it got nerfed pretty hard, and not very many people used it anymore, but it did get buffed, and it's near, like, overall damage. So whenever, like, I'm talking about overall damage, I'm talking about its base damage as well as its amped weapons damage. Both of those got buffed for the gun, so whenever you're close quarters, you'll just shred up enemies. And so the flatline, which is the assault rifle that I'm using, it resembles like a future AK. That's what I like to think of it as. It got nerfed, and I could tell the difference. The time to kill was much longer, or not much longer, but I mean, it was. You can tell that it got nerfed, so it was a pretty significant difference. However, I don't think that it is necessary that they nerfed the flatline, because so you got a trade-off, right? If you want more damage, then you might have to also in return get more recoil for your gun. So the recoil on the flatline, if I had to be honest, is terrible. It's unpredictable. It goes from side to side, up, down, left, right, diagonal, whatever. It has a ton of recoil, but I loved using it because its damage was so high. I know that they nerfed that. I mean, it's still a good gun, but it's kind of balanced out with all the others more. Damage-wise, recoil, it's still one of the worst ones that you can get. Its hip fire's good. It's kind of got like a hip fire like the Volt. It's pretty straightforward, but whenever you're scoping in, you kind of have that more like scoped in kick or whatever you want to call it. So it did get nerfed. The R201 and the R101's long range damage, overall damage got increased. I don't know, it was a little bit, I guess, because I used them some, but I don't really know what this game classifies as long range. I was on a building on a rooftop, and I mean, I couldn't really tell the difference, so maybe it's just not very major. And the Devotion, which is the LMG that the more you shoot, the quicker it shoots, it got nerfed as well with the damage, and I think it also got nerfed in one of the previous updates. If I'm pretty sure it did, so I think it got nerfed again. And so did the DMR. So a lot of guns got nerfed, a lot of their damages, and that's really it for like the patch notes. And then we get into the map, and like I said, this is a new map, and it does include the new zip lines that were added. There was 8 zip lines added, and I have no idea what maps they were added onto. I guess this is one of them. I don't really think they're necessary very much, because if you're really wanting to get on rooftops or whatever, or go across buildings, then you can just use the grapple pilot. But I guess if you really want to use the like a different kind of pilot and still be able to go from building to building, then you can use this gun or these zip lines. And this is a typical Titanfall map where it like feels small, but it's a little bit like a medium-sized map, but it's got really good playability. It's a really good map flow, and like people like to hang out and around this area right here, which is really close to like where I spawned. And really good spot to be are on the rooftops, because whenever like a lot of people like tend to hang on like, the outside of that like hangar or just the building that I'm facing right now. I don't know what it is, but a lot of people like to hang out and around that area, so if you get on the rooftops it's pretty good. And outside right here, a lot of people like to hang out. And but this map is a really good map. It's probably one of my favorites, and I've only played it a few times though, but I really enjoyed playing the map. And I will see you all in the next video, and if you enjoyed, leave a like, subscribe, and comment down below, and I'll see you all in the next one. Peace.